Welcome, people of Earth, to Rentrek. I am your host, Jimmy the Saint, and we are discussing Picard Season 2, Episode 2. Yes, we are back, and this is my review and my breakdown, and warning, spoilers ahead. So once again, if you have not seen the episode yet, go watch it, come back, and then watch the review show. First off, I would like to say that once again, I enjoyed this episode. It made a nice change again to a lot of the Star Trek we've had over the last few years. It was fast paced, it was exciting. Picard was being a lot more proactive. He had a lot more energy and enthusiasm for what he was doing, and that was a big plus for me. Maybe didn't enjoy it as much as the episode 1, but still a good episode, still keeping it going. And not just dragging on and on and on, much like Series 4 of Discovery has been on, just dragging on, keeping us waiting for anything to happen. But yes, I'm giving it a thumbs up this episode, and let's dive straight in. So we started with a look at Earth from space, and there is a shield, as we know, a force field all the way around the planet, clearly protecting themselves from someone or something. And we get back to where we finished off last week with Q and Picard having their tete-a-tete. It was wonderful again to see these two facing off against each other. Picard, in the Next Generation, by the last few episodes of Picard, he had just had enough, and of Q. Picard had enough of Q, and Q was more of a nuisance than someone who was really going to cause huge amounts of damage. But here, Picard seemed tired of it. He didn't want to be dealing with this, and Q seemed different as well. Q seemed a little bit unhinged. He even slapped Picard at one point, and Q has never been violent with Picard, but he slapped him across the face and gave him a bloody nose. Poor old Picard. And it came as a shock to Picard as well. He could tell that something was up with Q. Q gave him a bit of an explanation of what was going on, but nothing too detailed, really. Just that this is, as they said last week, the path that was not yet taken, the end of the road that was not yet taken. But he got the idea, and a wonderful scene, which I really enjoyed, was Q showing Picard his war room, I guess, his trophy room, where there was lots of weapons on the walls. There was Klingon weapons. There was Zhat Vas. It's Zhat Vas, isn't it? Zhat Vas, the Romulan people's phasers or rifles, daggers. But the real two really interesting. Well, there's lots of interesting things really. There was, by the looks of it, a Klingon uniform, which was the Klingon uniform from Discovery's Klingons, which obviously they had the complete redesign from the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and the subsequent films. So those Klingons were very different to the Klingons that we knew and loved, like Worf and Martok and Gowron. So it was interesting to see that uniform there in this timeline. Very interesting. I'm wondering if Picard and Discovery are going to coincide with potentially Discovery being part of this timeline. I don't know. But then what we also had was about 8 plinths with skulls on these plinths. And Q kindly, instead of just, usually Easter eggs, you just get like a little name. You might see a name. Q went through some of these names, and there was the skull of Golda Kutt, the Cardassian Hitler, basically, from Deep Space Nine, who ran the occupation of Bajor. His skull was there. Obviously, in this world, he fought against the humans, but was potentially a good guy. General Martok, who is the Klingon from Deep Space Nine, took Worf into his house. He was a great general and very important in the war against the Dominion. And then the third name he listed off was Sarek. The skull of Sarek, killed by Jean-Luc Picard himself on the steps of I think it's steps of Vulcan, maybe the science college or something like that, in front of his wife and child. And obviously Sarek's child is Spock. Jean-Luc Picard in this timeline killed Sarek. Wonderful. There was a Ferengi skull there as well. There was a Borg skull. Really nice stuff. I mean, it's always nice to have cameos. I like cameos, even if they are skinless and bodiless as well. Nice cameos. We then learn that Earth doesn't have a federation. It has the Confederation of Earth. It's called the Confederation of Earth, and this is clearly this regime that Picard is very high up in. Picard then says to Q, I'm not playing this game with you anymore, and Q does his usual disappearing act and gone. We then see Picard watching footage of himself as this leader doing a right bit of propaganda speech, and we learn that the Confederation is clearly this xenophobic, warmongering party / army. A safe galaxy is a human galaxy. This is their mantra. This is their slogan. This is what they wage their wars by. A safe galaxy is a human galaxy. In these scenes, we also meet Picard's valet called Harvey. He's a synthetic life form. Does a nice job of portraying a synthetic life form. Harvey, the not a big rabbit, the synthetic life form. And he asks Picard once again, mentions Laris, wants to find out where Laris is. Have we ever had Laris work in here? Because we do see that he has Romulan servants. And the android says no one called Laris ever worked here. There was a Laris on Romulus who died. Her and her husband died. So in this timeline, yes, Laris is gone, unfortunately. And we also find out it is Eradication Day, the happiest time of the year. Now that we don't have the end of the season, end of the harvest of his grapes, Eradication Day is the best day. We then cut to 7 of 9. She wakes up in bed. She gets up. She puts her dressing gown on immediately, and she walks around. She's like, "Where the hell am I?" Looks in the mirror and notices that she doesn't have her Borg implants anymore. She also notices she has a wedding ring on her hand. Enters her husband with another synthetic life form. They've got one as well. Everyone should have one. And he calls her President Annika. She is the president of this confederation. And her husband also says to her, "Happy Eradication Day." He didn't get her a card or a present, but clearly it's a nice day. Annika jumps straight into this new persona and gets dressed and puts the uniform on, gets her hair done, goes down to her office and with her husband, and they start talking about the Vulcan War, what's going on in Okinawa, and she then says, "Yeah, the Vulcan War. I'd like to hear some more about that. Maybe from someone in the field." And she's looking on her console trying to find Rios. Her husband says, and this is where we get another lovely big Easter egg / cameo, not a real cameo, but an Easter egg, because her husband says, "I will contact General Sisko." Yes, Sisko in this timeline is still around. He's still clearly in human form and not become his worm alien self. And he is a big general in this army. Does this mean we're going to get to see Sisko? Yes, I hope so. I really flipping hope so. Because to see Sisko and Picard on screen again together, maybe even battling one another. Who was the best? Who was the best captain, Sisko or Picard? There's only one way to find out. So Lovely little nod there, but she says, no, I don't need to see Cisco. I want to see Rios. And we go, oh, okay. So he goes, yeah, I'll get Rios down here, don't worry. She says, I'll contact him privately. He leaves the room. She reaches out to Rios. We cut to Rios. Rios is on a ship. He's in a battle. They're battling Vulcans. One of his fighters comes up on the screen and says, yeah, we're doing really well. Things are going good. We'll kill all these green bloods. Clearly, green bloods is a derogatory term for these Vulcans. He's sort of trying to work out what's going on. Annika gets in touch. Annika gets in touch. And they work out if they're on the same page by her saying, hey, it's the President, Annika here. If you've noticed anything odd happening, let me know. This is a private channel. You can tell me. And he goes, 7? He's like, oh, thank Christ. Okay, good stuff. We're on the same page. Like, get back here now. I need you. We then cut to Elnor running around, getting knocked down. He's in Okinawa whilst this battle's going on. We see things blowing up. There's phaser fire going off. And then a girl, Romulan, comes up, grabs Elnor and says, look, they call us what they want, but we're doing it, terrorists or whatever, we're doing it. And they hear these explosions. And she lists off as these explosions go. She says, one for Andoria, where the Andorians are from. One for Kronos, Klingons, obviously. One for Vulcan. One for Cardassia. And one for Romulus. All of these planets clearly having this uprising, or trying to have this uprising against the Confederation. She then gets shot in the back and goes flying. And yeah, clearly the Confederation has got no allies. And Elnor gets taken by these military police. They're all holding him at a rifle point. And then someone turns up. Pew, 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 pew. Shoots the military police. It's Raffi. He's happy to see her. They have a hug. What's going on? I don't know. Other military police turn up. Raffi somehow knows she's quite high up in this military police. I think she's head of security. And she says, I'll take care of this one. I'm going to deliver him personally myself. I need to interrogate him. He's got information. We then see where Agnes has turned up. She is a scientist. She is in some sort of laboratory. And you may remember she had a cat called Spot back in season 1, named after Data's beloved red-headed cat Spot. She has an animated cat now on a screen chatting to her about Eradication Day, called Spot 73. Spot 73 it was called, so clearly the 73rd edition of Spot the Cat, voiced by Patton Oswalt. Obviously Patton Oswalt voices any sort of creature on TV nowadays. That's mostly his job these days. They have a bit of chat. She's trying to work out where she is, and then Seven and her husband turn up to Agnes. They come in. Agnes is trying to speak to Seven. She says Seven. Husband says, why did you call her Seven? She's like, oh, we used to be drinking buddies. She drinks 7 shots. Some crap. Agnes is a bit of a drippy character at the moment. Like, she should be, I'm sure she should be much smarter than she's coming across at the moment. But anyway, the husband says, it's such a good Eradication Day. We've got an absolute corker of a person being eradicated. Bring them out. They're in stasis chamber M28 or something like this. So Agnes brings it out, opens up. Borg Queen. We get our reveal of the Borg Queen. Slight redesign on her from Voyager and Next Generation and First Contact, but not huge, not enough so it's, you know, so you're gonna get complaints. I think that's fine. It's close enough. It's close enough. And the Borg Queen starts chattering away, and the Borg Queen can tell that something is amiss with this reality. And 7 of 9 points out that the Borg Queen exists in multiple temporal states or something or other that means she can tell that something is amiss. It's obviously going to come in handy later on down the line. Raffi and Elnor then turn up at the palace. This is where this Eradication Day celebration is happening at the palace. Where else? And Raffi's taking Elnor past some security. Security go, we'll take this Romulan. She goes, no, I'm doing it. I've been personally asked. They say, who by? And suddenly we hear, by me! And Jean-Luc Picard comes up, swaggering, flopping his big willy about. I'm in charge here. And again, this is lovely to see Picard taking this seriously, and his acting has got a hell of a lot better than the season 1, where he played a one-eyed French pirate who hated the Borg, which was just so effing silly. Whereas this, he's playing the part and doing it very, very nicely. She apologizes. Raffi, Picard, Elnor walk off. They quickly introduce each other to each other. They're all on the same page. Good stuff. They then meet up with Seven, her husband. They lose the husband to have a chat. Picard explains everything that's happened with Q, saying this must be an alternate reality. Seven says, no, I've checked to the Borg Queen, and she could tell that there was a time was broken. He's like, yeah, that's it, of course, time's broken. Something has been changed. Q has gone back in time and changed something, and we need to fix this. And then they discuss how they can time travel. Picard says there's a few different ways. One way was done by Kirk on Kirk's Enterprise. They slingshotted themselves around a sun, something like that. Did it a couple of times. You know, we'll do that. They say, well, they had Spock doing all the calculations or something or other. We haven't got that. Seven says, yes, but there may be someone who can help. Aha. We are then all in Agnes's lab. Everyone is there, all of our main players. And the Borg Queen is there. And Jean-Luc Picard is staring at her, and he goes and has a bit of a word with her. And he says, he's asking her, what's happened? And she goes through her, her memory banks or whatever, and she works out where the change happened, the date, the location, everything. So he's like, right, that's where we've got to go back to. That's what we've got to do. Let's all get out of here. Beam us out of here. So Rios goes to beam them all out. And at this point, I was like, because you saw them beam, I was like, that was a bit easy. But no, they couldn't beam out. Security stopped them from beaming out because there was a lot of security. Because it's special Eradication Day celebrations. So President Annika's husband comes in. Security says, hey, what are you all doing here? He's like, oh, nothing, don't worry about it. Right. Borg Queen disappears into her cubicle again. And they're like, right, the ceremony is about to start. So, Raffi, Elnor, they go off to try and muck about, hack into security so we can get the teleporters up. Agnes has to work on communications, get back in touch with Rios. Picard, Seven, they've got to go and stall by going through the ceremony. Before the ceremony, we see a statue of, I'm sure, was Data. And I'm sure we heard Data's voice saying a safe galaxy is a human galaxy. So that would be interesting to find out if there's what Data did, or whether it's Noonien Sung. I'm not too sure. But that would be it was a nice Easter egg there. Little hint. How's that involved? We then go to Seven doing her speech, her addressing the masses who are baying for blood. These plebs shouting. They're shouting, kill, kill, kill. They're desperate to see some death. As this is going on, Elnor and Raffi are breaking into security. Elnor gets to kill a few humans, gets to slice a few necks, because, hey, that's what he enjoys doing. And Agnes gets in touch with Rios, and communication is open. She's saying they're having a bit of a relationship argument, because remember, they sort of got together and they slept with each other in season 1. And they're still trying to get the security shields down so they can beam off. Seven finishes her speech. The crowd are shouting, blood, blood, blood. They want to see it. They want to see. And the Borg Queen comes up out of the floor. It's only half the Borg Queen, by the way. It's not. It's only half of her, bless her. She comes up, and Picard, he's going, yeah, come on. He's shouting to the crowd. He's loving it. He's like Bez from Happy Mondays. He's waving maracas. And then he gets his phaser out and he's putting it to her head because he's got to kill her, right? Blood, blood, blood. They're all chanting. They can't get through the security shields. They're trying to get beamed off. And then people start to notice that something is amiss. Picard has not blown this Borg Queen's face off yet. Why has he not done it? And they start to turn on Picard. And Picard says to Seven, we may need to fight our way out of this. Pew, pew, pew! Takes out about 3 security guards really easily. I hope it was on stun. And then as the security are coming in, beamed out. All of them beamed on Rios' ship. All lined up. Lovely. Borg Queen's there as well. Hilarious. Rios, get us out of here. Agnes goes to plug in the Borg Queen. Rios says, don't do that. And she's like, I'm going to bloody do it. And she plugs in the Borg Queen. Borg Queen looks very smug, very happy. She's got a pair of legs in the form of a big ship again. And then they're about to shoot off. Shoo! Transporter. Annika's husband and 2 security officers. They all stand there with their hands up. Seven's husband shoots Elnor. Pff, big green mess on his chest. Raffi looks very upset because there's clearly a bit of a mother-son relationship going on over there. And then Seven's husband points the phaser at Picard and says something like, I wonder what your skull will look like, you know, on display. And I wonder what it would say as well. And he says, Jean-Luc Picard, traitor, rescuing a Borg. And we're out. Credits. Whoo! Another fun episode, another action-packed episode. I know not all Star Trek fans love the action, because we do like the diplomacy and the just the cleverness of Next Generation and working things out. But I do like a bit of rough and tumble, I'll be honest. This was a lot of fun for me. It was great. All the nods, all the let's say cameos, the skull cameos. Yeah, lots of fun. Again, I'll give it another thumbs up. As I said earlier, maybe not as good as the first episode, but still good. And I was pleased that they didn't get away, because I thought, oh, they're going back to 2024. This is when the Borg Queen said they had to go back to 2024. And I was enjoying this dystopian, totalitarian future. I wanted to see more of this. So I'm pleased that they got captured and hoping that we're going to get a little bit more of this. Are we going to get Cisco, torturing them, interrogating them, this could be there's a lot of fun to be had here. One of the lovely things about the Mirror Universe in Deep Space Nine, when they go into the Mirror Universe, was seeing the actors getting a chance to play something different. Seeing them, the goodies play the baddies and the baddies play the goodies. It was always lovely. It was always fun. In this timeline, obviously it's not the Mirror Universe, but in this timeline, we've only seen our titular heroes so far pretending to be these other people. I would like to see a couple of cameos from people. Cisco would be lovely. I'm desperate to see Garak again in something. Garak's probably my favourite character of all time. So it'd be nice to see Garak as some sort of freedom fighter for the Cardassians. A few more. Give us more time in this timeline just to see some more fun stuff. But look, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed Picard. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ren Trek. Yeah, come back next week and we'll go through another breakdown, another review, maybe some more Easter eggs, and we will carry on boldly going through this show together. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.